Okay.
Welcome, everyone, to this edition of the YSN Player Profile, Ursuline Football Edition, we should say. I'm your host, Ian O'Brien, and today I'm joined by wide receiver. He plays wide receiver. He does play some quarterback, too, kicker, punter. He's on defense as well. He basically plays every single position on the field. You call his name a bunch of times. That would be senior Matthew Reardon. Matthew, thank you for coming on, man.
No problem.
So, real quick, let's talk about last week against Austintown Fitch. And, it seemed like you guys started off very good, like you guys did against Cheney the second half. Just, you guys got the first score on the boards, and then all of a sudden Fitch came back. They scored a couple more. Then you guys, the momentum shifted a bit. It went left, right. And then you guys were basically right there, 21-20. They score again, and the onside kick happens. And was that the momentum shifter right there in that game? And what positives, I know there's, of course, has to be some positives and, of course, some negatives. What positives would you take out of week 2, and what things would you guys have to work on starting for Boardman this week?
Yeah, I think the momentum shifter of that game came. We scored, and then kicked off. They had the ball, held them to 3 and out, and then I had a roughing the kicker penalty, and then they went down and scored on that drive, and then got the onside because of it. But positives to come from it. We played sloppy in the second half. It wasn't really anything other than that. It was our mistakes led to us losing. It wasn't that they were a way better team, because we showed in the first half that we were just fine staying in that game with them, and that's the biggest thing from it, is that if we clean up our mistakes, we can be a really good and really dangerous team, as long as we do clean up those mistakes. And just going into this week against Boardman, that's what we're trying to do: clean up our mistakes, do everything right, and if we do what we're supposed to do, every play, I don't see a team on the rest of our schedule that can beat us.
I love that confidence in you, man. You're basically saying it straight up. We're coming for everyone. We may have had a little setback here, but there were a few positives that still came out this game, even if it wasn't a win. And tell you what, we're just getting better and better every single day. Boardman, of course, the team that you guys are facing this week for week 3 at Boardman Stadium, they got a win against Youngstown East too. They looked a lot better than they did week 1 against that same Fitch team, that you guys lost to as well. Should definitely be a big game there at Boardman Stadium. We'll talk about that in a few as well. But let's also let's flash back a bit. So before everything basically went bazonkers, before everything basically went crazy, or as some people say, cray-cray now, some people like to say that word. You, in fact, got a big commit, and my helmet's over here. I mean, I don't want to reach for it right now, but you ended up committing to Miami of Ohio, and we look at your offers here. I looked these up also on the website. You also had, of course, the academies, Air Force, I think Army too, right? Didn't you have one for Army? Yeah, one for Army. I saw Princeton on that one too. Was that true?
Princeton, yeah.
Toledo, Akron, and of course, hometown YSU. Out of all those schools, what made you want to choose Miami of Ohio?
The coaching staff there, I really like. The receiver coach there, he's probably the coach that before I had committed, I had built the best relationship with and felt the most comfortable with. And obviously with him being my position coach, once I'm there, having that good relationship is a big thing. And then on top of that, it's a really good school, and they run a spread offense. So I'll have the opportunity to get the ball, and be able to make plays. So I think that's the biggest part, was my relationship with those coaches. I felt the most comfortable with them, and they made me feel the most at home when I was there.
Yeah, and I think right there is the reason why you really joined. You walked into that building first day, you saw everyone, you're like, you know what? I feel like this is my home. I've gotten some great offers from these great different schools, but I just feel like Miami of Ohio, it's really, it just feels confident in my abilities. It feels like I'm welcome there a lot of the times.
Yeah.
And on top of that, it's definitely a good school as well. And
Mm-hmm.
we see nowadays, people go into college, like they want to play football, and then they'll say like, go to the NFL, even if they're from like a small school, and maybe, they'll be there for a little bit or they'll get signed to a practice squad. But, if you get cut and no one else picks you up, then, you're kind of, you're kind of out of luck there. And
Yeah.
that's why it's always good to have like a backup plan with like a major that we see, kids, of course, trying to
Yeah.
get, big majors nowadays. Of course, that's the biggest thing that they tell you, at Ursuline, go to college, get a good degree, get a major.
Yeah.
They told me that too. What do you want to major in when you go to Miami of Ohio?
I'm either trying to do not construction management, engineering management, which touches base in just about every branch of engineering, so that you have knowledge in all of them, trying to get a job after college, or doing business finance.
Business finance. I guess my guess was wrong then. I thought you were going to be a strength coach. I thought you were going to be big in exercise science like your dad over there right now. Because tell you what, they finally got a class for him. I know he was hoping for a lifting
Weight
class
training.
right there. Weight training. Yeah, I
weight
saw
training.
that. That's pretty sweet. I don't know why they didn't have that when I was there. Your dad should have came when
Yeah.
I was there.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a
I'm
nice
kind of,
class.
yeah, I know, because I'm already trying to get wide over here, and I wasn't
Uh-huh.
wide back then. I was a string bean, so it's like
Yeah.
I'm kind of salty about that. But I mean,
Yeah.
no, I think that's a good major right there, though.
Yeah.
Engineering, uh, and I think that's going to work out well. We see a lot of people, get into engineering, they have good businesses after, make a lot of money there. So I think that
Yeah.
would be definitely a good backup plan. Of course, though, we are definitely hoping that you do definitely hopefully go pro after your time at Miami of Ohio for sure.
Hopefully.
And especially since, former quarterback Ben Roethlisberger, of course now Steelers quarterback, Super Bowl
Mm-hmm.
winner, he went there.
Yep.
So maybe we could see
Yep.
you in the same boat.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. All right, but let's talk about real quick also after that happened. So we did not even know that anything like this was going to happen. And, bars shut down. We had sports, basically the NBA was suspended for a bit. We didn't even know now if we were going to have a high school football season on the
Mm-hmm.
line here because of all this COVID stuff going on. Everything, again, just the world was basically shocked, and it was basically nothing going on here. What was your reaction basically to all of this? Did you think that we were going to have a high school football this year? And how do you feel really about this, just a 6-game schedule during your senior year in general with no student section? Of course, we're told Brady that as well, but no student section, only family members involved. What is that to you right now?
Yeah. I think going into the season, the biggest thing was we didn't know if we were going to have one. And I feel like as a team, we did a good job preparing and practicing hard, regardless of what we knew could happen or what potentially was going to happen. Because going through 2 days, going through camp in June and July, we had no idea if we were going to have a season, but we were still practicing as if we were. So as a team, I felt like we attacked that well. And the 6-game season, you'd wish to have a 10-game season, have everything be normal, but under the circumstances, obviously that couldn't happen. So just being in my senior year, I'm just glad that I'm able to play, and regardless of if that's in front of thousands of people or in front of just family members, I don't really care as long as I'm allowed to play, and that's what I'm allowed to do. So I'm okay with that.
And I do like your attitude there as well. I'm just okay as long as I could play football. That's all I wanted to do. And we see that also now with just schools that are not playing in conferences too. The Big Ten for a big example, the Pac-12, of course, the MAC too. Miami of Ohio, they won't be playing until the spring. Missouri Valley too, and generally, because I work with athletics at YSU, and we were, I think, suspended for 3 weeks because of a big party and all this concern about COVID. It was definitely crazy, but I just do like the fact that we have some high school sports going on, and a few college and NFL coming back too. The NBA's back too. I just feel like that opens up for all this positivity to come back and get away from all this other stuff that's been happening, all summer long. It's really crazy too. But let's go on to another thing. So, I do see your mom once in a while, and her name is a football family, and
Yeah, yeah,
you definitely do see that a lot. And I see all the football
yeah,
ties in because, it started, you and Emma first were what, like ball boy, water girl, was it? Or it was
yeah,
something like that,
yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah,
And then you guys, of course, go to Colorado. Coach Reardon gets a job coaching in Colorado. I mean, that was probably something to witness. I know you were still young, but witnessing being in Colorado probably was just a
yeah,
whole different type of football.
yeah.
And there's a lot of family ties into this football name because, your mom works at the rec center. She's very athletic in the sense of that,
Hmm.
your
Yeah,
sister, Emma, she's at Iowa State working in athletics right now, correct?
yeah, yeah,
So that's big too. And it seems like right now, Patrick, Grace, and Maggie all took your spots when you were little as a
yeah,
water girls
yeah,
or trying to be
yeah,
just
yeah,
cheerleader and
yeah.
ball boy too. What is it just having a family like that, man? Just all ties in with that same sport, and it just comes together.
Yeah. Growing up around it, you don't really um know what it's like not to be around it all the time. So to me, obviously, it's just a normality. I don't know what it's like not to have football be a huge focal point in my life. And it's a fun thing to be able to share like my love for the game with my family as well, because I know some people uh they love the game, but their families like they're like, yeah, you're happy playing, but they aren't fully interested in it, or um care all that much about what happens on the field. But my entire family cares about what happens rather than just me being happy, which obviously if I'm playing, I'm happy, and they're happy about that. But it being a big part in our lives is a nice thing.
Yeah, I know your family is just has your back 24/7. I'm glad they do. I've known you for a long time now too. And
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course, when we lived kind of right by each other, I know idolize yourself probably a little bit with Keys Teague, who was
yeah,
with you guys for a bit too, one of Ursuline's
yeah,
best running backs of all time. And I imagine, trampoline was good exercise too, even though we basically picked on your sister all the time during
yeah,
way back in the
yeah,
day. I
yeah,
still somehow remember that. But
yeah,
I could just see it right away when I met you, that you were going to become a big star. And, now here we are years later, senior
yeah,
year, and you have a big commit to a D1 school, man. And that is just incredible. One thing I did want to say, of course, with all this going on too, and it's really, it's been really big too. I asked Brady Shannon about his number change, and I want to ask you about number 8, of course. I kind of know a little bit of the story there, but for those who don't, tell them about why you wanted to choose the number 8.
yeah. When I was younger, when my dad was a coach at Ursuline before we moved to Colorado, my favorite player and the player that I just got along with and kind of took me under his wing was Keelan Thurston, and he wore number 8. And a couple years back, he was killed, and I just wanted to wear that number in memory of him. And I every game, every uh, practice, I'm thinking about him, but every game, I'm praying, saying that I hope he's proud of me, just because that's who I looked up to when I was younger. And um, obviously, someone being killed isn't a light thing, but that took a toll on me when I found out about it, and I just wanted to be able to remember him in some way.
And I tell you what, right now, he definitely looks down on you and the plays that you make, man. And he's really proud of what you've become.
Yeah, yeah,
You've become ball boy to this D1 athlete. Also taller than me too. And I gotta say right there that I'm kind of salty about that because I remember
yeah,
I used to be the one taller than you. I don't know what
yeah,
happened. I don't know what kind
yeah,
of spurt happened over here, but
yeah,
I'm still a little questionable about that. I think I got to speak
yeah,
with my attorneys because of it, but
yeah,
uh, no, but I also wanted to ask, let's go back real quick to Borman. As I said, they ended up being Youngstown East. You guys, of course, fortunately lost against Fitch. Last
yeah,
year during this game, it was, it seemed like Boardman likes playing this thing called clock management where they like to run the
Yeah.
ball and, they
Yeah.
make everyone tired. They did that along my junior year and senior year. We kind of got past it. We got past it my junior year. Senior year, it was a whole different story because
Yeah.
started off not so good. But, it
Yeah.
seems like they're used to doing that. They have a coaching staff that loves doing that. So how are you guys, going to prevent the clock management from happening? Can we maybe see, I know it's classified information, but can we maybe see Ursuline copy something
Um,
or?
the thing with Boardman is they're always big and physical, and their bread and butter is running the ball. And right now they're out of their starting quarterback, so they got a really good athlete that played the first two games at quarterback. Last year he was the number one receiver, but when you're down a quarterback, you got to go to your best athlete to fill that position, which I think for the circumstances he was put in, he's doing pretty well. But they're going to try to run the ball on us, and then we know that based off of what they've done the first 2 weeks, and we just got to be able to stop their run and stop him from making big plays happen with his feet, because he's capable of doing it if you give him the opportunity.
Can you then expect maybe like a wildcat type play to happen, since, usually we saw that course with Fitch too. They'd put their wide receivers in, or, different backs and try and do a wildcat. Can you expect that maybe with Boardman, something for them to do?
So with him playing quarterback, they're basically in a wildcat every play to an extent. He throws decent. He's like I said, he doesn't play. He didn't play quarterback before. He's a natural receiver, which they're gonna run with him, but he can throw the ball as well. So we got to be in our zones and in our spots on defense in the secondary for those times that he does decide to throw. But we just got to be sound and play where we need to play, and keep him from making big plays happen.
And yeah, that's going to be a big game again. That will be at Borman Stadium. If you are in fact a student and cannot, of course, get into the game because of it, as I'm getting a lot of calls here from some people about fantasy football. But besides that, always go to wisen.com. You can watch the game there. $10, well, $9.99, but $10 in general for the pay-per-view. That'll be Friday night. Get it at least before 7:00 hits, so you can watch the game. Matthew, with not a student section though, how do you feel about every game basically being broadcasted? So I know you have some family that sometimes maybe can't go, or, your sister, Iowa State, wants to watch. How do you feel about, your games being broadcasted on a website like Wisen?
Yeah, the thing that is just different. There's people that, generally would never be able to see you play because they're either family that live out of state, or people that just can't make the time to get to a game, that if they're free on a Friday night, now they can pay $10 and watch it. And the thing that also is good is it allows the coaches at Miami to watch it, which
watch your film basically and all that.
Basically, yeah. But they wouldn't be able to really come to games all that much because they'd be in season and a bunch of other stuff. But they're able to watch it because it's available to them, which is a nice thing.
I do. I like that. I like that a lot. That now you have all these different college coaches that can actually, not only do you have to send film out, because that's usually what it's been, because, it was hard to catch all these games on TV unless it was a game of the week on KPN. And now, you could just watch the game and see, wow, okay, so this player does this. Let's see what he could do better. Let's see what he's already doing better. I do like the idea of what we're doing, just so also, coaches can watch and, as you said, look at you guys on film every single time. Yeah. But I think we should get to the last couple questions here before we end this nice little interview with you. So you basically grew up around your dad, and of course, as we said, the football family. And, I don't know, did you ever expect to basically have your dad coach you on the actual football field, not like flag football or anything like that? What was it like, just watching your dad coach, and now, he's coaching you? And also, what's the difference? Because I know there's definitely a big difference there.
Yeah. The growing up, I always thought he was going to be my coach, and I always wanted him to be my coach. I never really wanted to play for anybody else. And doing it for 3 years, this being year 4 playing for him, it's been everything I thought it was going to be. He's allowed to, because he's my dad, he's allowed to take things out on me differently than he takes things out on other guys.
Was he mad about the penalty?
Last week, yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
I knew he would be.
I don't know. Yeah, he was mad about that. But yeah, it's nice playing for my dad. I mess around with him at practice, but on Friday nights he tells me that before a game that he's proud of where I'm at, and couldn't really ask for more than that, because growing up, wanting to play for him, wanting to be able to, just wanting to be able to pray for him, and being able to now and making him proud. That's all I could really ask for.
Yeah, I never thought I'd see the day where, we got a father-son, especially for how long he's been coaching, and, how, last time we met, really, like last time we actually hung out, you were what, in like 3rd grade or something like that, 4th grade,
yeah, probably,
maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, dude, that's just a crazy story, and especially the background that you guys both have, being this successful now. You're learning from a 3-time state champion like your dad there. That's awesome. But
yeah.
All right, now last thing again, this is kind of like the off questions that we usually have. So week 1 of the NFL starts tomorrow. Super Bowl winning Kansas City Chiefs, Houston Texans, and Houston's been a little they paid Deshaun Watson big money. But they did get rid of DeAndre Hopkins, unfortunately. But who do you have? And I know you're a betting man, so you also have to have a nice spread here.
I don't know. I think the Chiefs will win, but I think the Texans are going to come out hot because they have a chip on their shoulder from how they got out last year. I think they thought they had that game in the bag, and Patrick Mahomes was Patrick Mahomes, and obviously brought the Chiefs back. But I don't know. I think I'd take the Chiefs by 2 touchdowns.
2 touchdowns. So what you're saying is that you'd probably want the spread to be -7. I mean, who are Chiefs even home? I have to check again, bud. I've checked a bunch of times.
I have no idea.
I'll have to check after this, because if not, then
I think regardless of where the game's at, the Chiefs are gonna take it to them.
So I don't think you even do a spread while betting. I think you just place it all wins. That's all it is. No bets.
Yeah.
No spreads.
Yeah. No.
All right. But I think that should be about it right there. Matthew, thank you for coming on, man. You're a heck of a football player. And
thank you.
With this commit that you have, dude, it's going to be – I can just tell right now the leadership at Ursuline's was a lot better once you came in. You saw everyone just, they were kind of, down about it. And you basically picked a lot of their heads up. I talked to, of course, Brady last week. I think you saw the interview there about that leadership, and it's a better vibe, a lot of positive vibes going around. So I want to thank you. You've been good for the Irish, and good luck this week for you guys against Bournemouth. Should be a good game.
Thank you.
Thank you, man. You have a good night, and thank you for coming on.
No problem. Me too.